So for my creative project, I decided to create a collage on images and quotes that I found in magazines that are geared towards young women. The media often gives messages to young girls of how they're supposed to look, how they're supposed to dress, and how they're supposed to act. And the media plays a huge role in these expectations of young women. Some of the images that the media has girls are measuring themselves up against, and it's usually an impossible standard created by the media, meaning that the images are often digitally altered. Since the young girls are taught at such a young age that they're supposed to look and act a certain way, they see themselves more as an object, and that their value lies in like their looks, and it gives the idea that being smart, strong, and accomplished is not enough. So these expectations of girls can be very damaging to them. These can result in depression, eating disorders, low confidence, and even a low GPA. With these extreme pressures put on young girls, they cannot focus on their schoolwork. So since kids are exposed to the media constantly, even in school, they spend up to 11 hours a day on media, and that's just in school. So even outside of school, they interact with the media. So clearly young girls are being exposed to these images and messages. In some of the images that I found, you can tell by the pictures that some of the models barely have clothes on, and they're fairly thin in most of them. And like young girls may look at this and get the idea that this is what they're supposed to look like, so they're always measuring themselves up against this. But in some of the words and sentences and quotes, I found that magazines were all pretty similar for the most part. They talked about women being beautiful or strong is beautiful. And like some of this I found from magazines, strong is beautiful, must love beauty, or the best beauty sleep of your life. Or it says, hello beautiful, how to look great like now. So a lot of the messages just like say like women are supposed to be beautiful and strong is being beautiful. So it pretty much gives the message that their value lies in like their looks and how they dress. And in like some of the examples I found in the magazine, some of the products for just like normal everyday things were like pretty vulgar. Like the example of like pore strips, like you would never think that they should be vulgar, but this one is like stripped down to your naked little pores. And then in one of the magazines it says fantasy lives, why men like porn and women prefer romance novels, and I found this in one of the magazines, and it's pretty much just saying what women find appealing is what leads to reproductive success and the protection of their offspring. And like women like men who are strong, attractive, and healthy, and ensuring that their kids will be healthy too. And women need to feel a sense of intimacy and closeness before. So these messages are pretty much just like telling young girls that they need to like depend on a man to just like have kids with. And then another one I found was like an advertisement for Geico, and it says those pumps won't pay for themselves, and I highlighted the quote right there, and it says save money for the things you love. So Geico is like advertising for them, but it's pretty much saying like women like only pretty much buy things that like materialistic things. And then I also found like birthday cards geared towards young girls and young boys, and this one is for young girls, and it's sassy, A spirited and lovable girl like you deserves a happy birthday that's magical and fun. And then this one is for boys, and it says, today is your 5th birthday. You're 1 year more clever. You're taller and bigger and stronger than ever. And as you can tell, like, the words in the cards are, like, different. Like, it's pretty much saying, like, girls are, like, lovable, magical, and fun. And then, like, boys, it says, like, they're taller, bigger, stronger, and, like, more clever. I found, like, this interesting, and, like, I found it, like, that was a common theme when I was, like, looking through the birthday cards. Even, like, in when mothers were expecting cards, where it's, like, a strong boy and a cute girls, and, like, so, like, this pretty much, like, starts at a young age that advertisement is, like, socializing boys and girls. And then I found that a lot of these images tied back into the misrepresentation movie, because a lot of the young girls are seeing an advertisement are of women's bodies or women in the kitchen, and they aren't, like, young girls aren't really seeing true role models. And in the movie it said, it's what you see. If you don't have women there, then young girls don't think they can be there. So I think if young girls keep seeing images like this or these role models, then nothing will really change. But that's the end of my project. Thank you.